It's 3 a.m. You're awake. You didn't choose this. Your eyes just opened, and now your mind is racing through bills, conversations, things you said years ago. You check the clock. You close your eyes. Nothing happens. You assume something is wrong with you, but the real answer is far stranger. Your body was never designed to sleep through the night in one long block. For most of human history, sleep came in two parts. A first sleep, a period of waking in the middle of the night, and a second sleep. This pattern even had a name. Historians call it segmented sleep, and it shows up again and again in old documents, letters, and court records from centuries ago. Roger Ekirch, a historian at Virginia Tech, spent years digging through pre-industrial records. What he found was startling. References to first sleep and second sleep appeared casually, the way you might mention breakfast and lunch. People woke after a few hours, stayed awake for 1 or 2 hours, then drifted back down. This wasn't insomnia, it was simply how nights worked. So what changed? Light changed. Before artificial lighting, nights were long and dark for much of the year, especially in winter. Darkness could last 14, 15 hours. No human body, ancient or modern, is built to lie unconscious for that long in one stretch. The middle of the night waking gave people a natural pause. Some prayed. Some had quiet conversations. Some simply lay there, thinking, the way you do now. Then came gaslighting, then electric light, then screens that glow late into the night. Suddenly, darkness shrank. Nights compressed into a single block, and the expectation followed. 8 hours, straight through, no interruptions. Anything else got labeled as a problem, but your biology didn't get the memo. Inside your brain sits a small cluster of cells called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Think of it as your body's master clock. It tracks light, darkness, temperature, and hormone levels, syncing nearly every system you have to a roughly 24-hour rhythm. This is your circadian rhythm, and it doesn't run in one smooth line. It rises and falls. Sleep researchers have found that human sleep naturally has a dip and a rise built into it, especially in the deep night hours. Around 3 to 4 a.m., something specific happens. Your body temperature hits its lowest point of the entire day. Cortisol, the hormone connected to alertness and stress, begins its slow climb back up, hours before you're supposed to get up. Melatonin, the hormone that helped pull you into sleep, starts to fade. Your brain, in other words, is shifting gears. And for a brief window, that shift can nudge you toward wakefulness. Here's the part that makes it feel worse than it is. The moment you wake up at 3 a.m., your brain doesn't stay neutral. Cortisol is already rising. Cortisol is the hormone your body releases when it senses a threat or when it's preparing you to deal with one. So at the exact moment your mind is most likely to drift toward worry, your body is also chemically primed for alertness and vigilance. Matthew Walker, a sleep scientist at UC Berkeley, has described how this combination, a quiet mind with nothing to distract it, plus a body edging toward alert mode, creates the perfect conditions for anxious thoughts to surface. During the day, you're busy. Your attention is split 100 ways. At 3 a.m., none of that exists. The distractions are gone. What's left is whatever you've been pushing down all day, and a brain chemically primed to focus on it. This is why the same worry that felt manageable at 6 p.m. can feel enormous at 3 a.m. Nothing about the problem changed. What changed is your hormonal state and your environment. Darkness removes visual cues that normally help your brain regulate emotion. Silence removes the background noise that usually keeps anxious thoughts at bay. And cortisol is rising right on schedule, whether you have something to worry about or not. There's another layer to this, and it goes back further than candles and clocks. For most of human evolutionary history, nighttime was dangerous. Predators hunted at night. Other groups of humans sometimes raided at night. A brain that stayed completely unconscious for 8 straight hours with zero awareness of its surroundings was a brain at risk. A brain that surfaced periodically, checked the environment, listened for unusual sounds, then settled back down, was a brain that survived. Some researchers studying modern hunter-gatherer groups like the Hadza in Tanzania have found that even today, without electric lights or modern stress, people in these communities experience brief nighttime wakings. Sleep, even in populations living close to how humans lived for thousands of years, isn't perfectly continuous. The wakings are just shorter, and crucially, they aren't accompanied by anxiety about the wakings themselves. That's the real difference. Ancient humans who woke at 3 a.m. weren't lying there thinking, "Something is wrong with me. I need 8 hours. Why can't I sleep?" They simply existed for a while, then slept again. No clock told them they were failing at sleep. No app gave them a score the next morning. The waking itself was normal. It was just part of the night. You, on the other hand, wake up and immediately calculate. How many hours of sleep is that? How many hours do I have left? Will I be tired tomorrow? This calculation itself releases more stress hormones. So now you have the natural cortisol rise, plus a second wave triggered by the anxiety about being awake. Two systems feeding each other, both pointing towards stay alert. There's a name researchers sometimes use for this spiral: sleep effort. The harder you try to force sleep, the more alert your nervous system becomes, because trying is itself a form of activation. Your body interprets the effort as importance, and importance signals alertness. The very tools your brain uses to keep you safe during the day, focus, vigilance, problem solving, are the same tools working against you at 3 a.m. So if 3 a.m. wakings are built into human biology, and they were normal for most of history, why does it feel like a crisis now? Because everything around the waking changed, even though the waking itself didn't. You're alone with it. There's no quiet household stirring, no shared sense that this is just part of the night. There's a glowing clock telling you exactly how much time you're losing. There's tomorrow's schedule sitting there, demanding 8 full hours as a non-negotiable requirement. None of that existed for most of human history. The waking is ancient. The panic about the waking is brand new. Some sleep researchers now suggest that simply knowing this, that waking briefly in the night is normal, not a malfunction, can itself reduce how distressing it feels. When you stop treating the waking as an emergency, cortisol has less to respond to. The mind has less to spiral around. The waking can return to what it was for most of human history: a quiet pause, not a crisis. Tonight, when you wake up at 3 a.m. again, your eyes opening in the dark for no obvious reason, remember what's actually happening. Your temperature just bottomed out. Your cortisol just started its slow climb. Your ancestors' brains are doing exactly what they did for thousands of years, checking the dark, confirming everything is fine, waiting to drift back down. The world outside your window is quiet. So is the threat. There never really was one. It's 3 a.m. You're awake. And for the first time, maybe that's okay.